Hey, welcome to the conversation that's as diverse as the dogs that we adore. This is Gun Dogs and Guard Dogs, ultimate podcast dedicated to talking sense about dogs with Les Graham and Ross McCarthy. They work with all breeds of dog, but one specialises in gun dogs and the other prefers guard dogs. No flashy trends or social media hype here, just tried and true knowledge that stands the test of time. They bring you valuable insights and honest conversations about the social predator you share your home with. So here we go. About 45 minutes of gun dogs, guard dogs, good dogs, some maybe not so good dogs, and a dash of gossip.
Mr. McCarthy.
Gun Dogs and Guard Dogs with me and Les Graham. Here we are.
I know, well, not just me and you. You're fed up of talking to me, aren't you?
Yeah, see, that's what I keep lining up all these guests now. Just
I
makes
think it is.
No, we're chatting today with Clare Drew, who is the chairwoman of the Guild of Dog Trainers. So just
Yes.
a little chat about the rebrand and what she's bringing to the guild to make that a
Bigger and better.
Yeah.
Bigger
And
and
also,
better. And how many dogs has she got?
well, she said 11, but
What, do you think there's more?
Oh, I'm not saying anything, but she's got a lot of dogs and lots of different breeds. So yeah, fascinating little chat about her life and her preferences and their experiences.
Yeah, really interesting. Loads. I mean, it's so good having different breeds in the house, isn't it? Because you learn so much.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, and obviously living with the dog. So I guess on the podcast you'll hear a little bit of whining, a little bit of barking, and whatever else, because there's between a lot of us, there's a whole lot of dogs knocking about.
Yeah, because she's got hers. I've got my little in the crate, although not so little. Oh, he can't fully stretch out now because he's so big.
Um,
Um, I know. And then you've got yours.
yeah, so that's a lot.
Yeah,
Anyway, shall we go and let people listen to Claire Drew from the Guild of Dog Trainers?
I think we should. I think we should enjoy, and I shall see you in a couple of weeks, matey.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
We've got special guest, Claire Drew, who is the chairwoman from the Guild of Dog Trainers.
Hello, welcome to my little chat with you guys.
Yeah, welcome. So you are, before we talk about the guild, because just a little bit of background about you, because I know you've got a couple of dogs in your house, haven't you? That
A few.
just one or two. And what's kind of your history with dogs? Where did because I think I met David, your husband, before I met you, and he had, I think at the time, a number of bull terriers and things, which was
Mm.
a lot of years ago.
Yeah. So basically, it's all David's fault. Really, I didn't grow up with dogs. I wasn't. I met this guy at 15, and he had two Staffordshire Bull Terriers, and he was dog mad. And before I knew it, I kind of was living in this dog world. I kind of joined by default, really. It was sink or swim, one of them deals.
Yeah.
And we got our first dog together when we moved out and moved in together, and we got a Bullmastiff, and which David assured me was a perfect, brilliant dog, and a dog he'd always wanted, and he was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, 9 stone of beautiful dog. But yeah, and then Stan came along, and this 9 stone of beautiful guarding breed decided that a pram was really worth guarding, so walks with him became challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And so David said to me, I know what dog you want to walk with when you take the baby out for a walk. You just want a lovely little English Bull Terrier that will plod along next to the pram and it will be lovely. And that's where it all started. Literally. And before I knew it, we were multiplying dogs, and it went from there. At one point we had 7 Bull Terriers at one point of our own, and 1 foster. Yeah, and then we got our first non-bull breed, which was the Vizslas. and she kind of changed everything for us.
And what's she? She's about 14 now. Is that the same Vizsla you've got?
She'll be 14 in a couple of months. Yeah, same one. We rehomed her at 9 months old. The previous home wasn't working out for her, and she landed with us with a lot of anxiety. It's like just so much anxiety, I can't tell you. It took that dog 9 months to voluntarily go and lay on a bed in the house. She was just so highly strung. But she changed it. She literally just opened our eyes to a different way of dog training.
In what way?
Sorry.
In what way?
Because we'd spent all our previous time with dogs training having to think outside the box and do stuff that was different, or feel excluded in class, because when it came to going to, pet dog classes, it would kind of be the same sort of stuff. And then it would get to retrieve, and we'd be like, oh, no, and things that and we'd be like forever kind of having to really think about things, and always feeling like people were wary of your dog, never really feeling like people were comfortable if you let your dog off lead, and not feeling like you could ever be taken seriously. And then with Ruby, you could open up a dog training book, how to teach your dog such and such. You would read it, do it with Ruby, and boom, it was done. She was like textbox training. Everything you'd done, you said, she just listened, and she was so willing. Like, if you train Bull Terriers, you have the odd one, and we've had some beautiful ones, don't get me wrong. But the difference in a dog wanting to do stuff for you compared to a Bull Terrier.
Do you find the Bull Terriers, would you say that they're a bit thick, or they're just very, very clever and don't want to comply?
Well, we often have this conversation. What is the intelligent dog? The one that looks at you and says, why should I do that? Or the one that says, yeah, I'll keep doing it. Yeah, I'll keep doing it. Like, how do you, what I always used to think was, like, things like distance controls. You try that with a Bull Terrier, and they're like, you're so far away. Like, why? Like, you can't feed me from over there, and you're too far away so I'm not really sure I need to do that, and they're kind of just laid back and happy to go for a walk and eat. Whereas dogs like Ruby, Vizslas, they're like, all of a sudden, distance controls was easy. She didn't care where you was. She understood the task. She wanted to comply. She's happier when she's doing stuff. She's the type of dog that can't do nothing. We'd had several years of having dogs that are quite happy doing nothing.
So is that what really spurred on your interest in dog training then? Sort of having a dog like that was a bit more. Yeah,
it was. And at that point, David was always really keen. Sorry, I know the podcast ain't about him. We don't want to go. It was. David was always really keen to be a dog trainer, really. I think it was always something that was bubbling under the surface. But when you go back to when we was kind of 15, 16, dog training wasn't a thing. You couldn't have said in school, I want to be a dog trainer. It didn't exist, So it was only later life that happened. And then Ruby came along, and because she was the type of dog that was biddable and willing and made you look better, made you look more professional, I think it became a reality. And then from the Vizslas came our first German Shepherd.
I remember that.
Yeah. He was one of the dogs that we lost him almost 12 months ago now. And I think he was probably the most, I don't even know how you describe him really, if I'm honest. He was like a dog in a trillion. I can never imagine it just wouldn't happen, having another dog like him. He was just phenomenal. There was There was nothing about that dog that was negative. You know, he had the presence of Aslan, and he was stunning to look at. He was kind. He was powerful. He just had everything. He just had everything, and people were always mesmerised by him. So,
did you get him as a puppy? You didn't get him as a puppy, did you?
No, we got him as an adult dog. Yeah.
Nice.
And so it does, you know, people often say, do you bond as well, don't they, to a dog that you get as an adult, or do you bond better to a puppy? And the truth is, I don't think there's any yes or no to that. I think dogs come into your life different times, different reasons, and you bond with them in that case, you know, in that time frame.
And
I
some
think
of
you
them,
get the dog you need. Sorry, Ross.
no, I was just going to say, some of them are more special than others, aren't? Do you know what I mean? We love all of our dogs, don't we? But, you know, there are some that are standouts that are just, you know, like you said, you won't get another one like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know, I've lived through that now. Some dogs you just have a different bond with them. You just connect for whatever reason. You know, we've got dogs in the family today that, you know, I don't connect with as much. And at one point I would have felt really guilty for saying that, and I wouldn't have admitted it. I would have said, no, you can't say you don't really connect with that dog. It's really wrong. It doesn't mean I don't love that dog, and I don't do the best by that dog. What it means is I just haven't got the same connection with it as I have with my other dogs.
How many have you got, Claire? You didn't say.
Well, I don't know if I should put out into the world how many, but between us, David and I, have 11 dogs.
Oh, okay.
So, and then Stan's got his own dogs. Our son's got his own dogs as well. But
I like the way you just divide that up, so you don't have to, you know, oh, they're not all mine.
But it's like anything though, isn't it? If you come from a big family, you'll connect more to like one sibling than another. You love them, but you just don't have that same connection or like affinity with them, do you? And I think it's true with dogs as well. I mean, I've had dogs that I've loved, but I haven't particularly connected with. You know, it's like, okay, he's he's a good dog. I'm glad I've got him, but he's not as special as the others.
Yeah, no, 100%. And sometimes it's, you know, I mean, the dog I'm thinking of in particular is a bit of a one-man dog, you know, so I think it's as much her as it is me. And I think at first I felt really offended by it. But now I've come to realise that actually that's just the way it is, and I shouldn't take it personally. And dogs are different. You know, we've got dogs in the house of the same breed. So we've got, you know, more than one German Shepherd, more than one Rottweiler. Are they the same? No. I mean, then, you know, they're completely different dogs. So why should I think I would have the same relationship? I read a quote once years and years ago, and it stuck with me. And it always sticks with me when I lose a dog, and then you think about getting another dog, because, you know, you kind of battle that guilt of getting another dog. And it was, there's all kinds of love in the world, but never the same love twice. And I just always hold that quote, because I think it's so true. But, you know, we've had 20 plus dogs in our lifetime, David and I, and they've all been loved differently. No more, no less, all differently.
Just different.
Yeah. And there was, I mean, this isn't dog related, but you know, about me, and maybe relevant, but there was a period in my time where I almost became a Church of England priest.
Wow.
A lot of people are really shocked by that. When I said, I was talking to people on one of the Cambridge Institute courses I'd done, and they're like, no, I can't believe it. And I was like, yeah, honest.
I can see it actually.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah. I came very close, and then just, you know, things changed.
You'd look good in a collar. Match your dogs.
From one dog collar to another dog collar.
Yeah.
See? I mean, there you go. But yeah, so that quote was kind of always poignant to me. You know, there's all types of love in the world, but never the same love twice. I think we should all hang on to that for all purposes in life. Really.
How do you find it owning so many dogs at the same time? Like, because people always use, because I have multiple dogs, not as many as you, but just people say, do you have a favourite and all the rest of it? And I did up until this current group of dogs I've got. I don't really have a favourite now. But how do you find that I mean, presumably do you have like an order of that's my favourite and that's my least favourite? And
People always ask us this. And I think, I mean, everyone that's favourite was Breg, the dog we lost last year. I mean, he couldn't not be your favourite dog because he just was so much. And I think it changes. I don't have an absolute favourite. There's too many. I don't think I could. But I have dogs that I enjoy spending time with differently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Dogs that I want to sit and relax with, that they do that beautifully, and there's dogs that do stuff and work with me that I like doing. So yeah, and it's kind of nice having the variation, really. You've got a dog for almost every purpose. You know, have I got a dog that I can take on the tube if I was going somewhere that would be, yep. Have I got a dog that can come to classes and yep. Have I got a dog that can stooge in a one-to-one? Yep. Have I got a dog that can go off lead in a public place and not be an issue? Yep. So that's what I like about having multiple dogs.
It's nice, isn't it? Because you've got, aside from your shepherds, your rotties, your Dutch herders and all the rest of it, you've also got a Chihuahua, a Yorkie, working cocker, all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, do you know what dogs open my eyes the most?
Chihuahua.
She's adorable. One of the most confident, happiest, loveliest little dogs ever. She's amazing. But no, the one that opened my eyes and that I ill-judged was the working cocker.
In what way?
I just thought it was going to be easy.
Welcome to my world.
That was really stupid of me, wasn't it? I just thought, after having shepherds and a Vizslas, and you know, Rotties, like surely a cocker spaniel's going to be easy, and they're not easy at all. They're different, but it's almost, I often say to people that it's almost as much dog as a big power breed, but in a small parcel,
and fast.
only with twice the amount of energy and 4 times the speed of thinking. You know, so Mouse has been harder than I thought it'd be.
So nothing like a bull terrier then.
No, polar opposites, literally polar opposites. He needs to do stuff all the time. You know, he's amazing. Don't get me wrong. He's amazing, but fun. Oh yeah, and this is it. I've been doing agility with him, which is a completely new discipline. And you know, we've owned dogs since we was in our late teens. And this is the first, and then got into training, obviously, but this is the first time I've done agility training. And it's kind of turned everything you've done upside down, everything's faster, there's movement. And considering 2 years ago, I was off my feet with broken ankles, I think it's, you know, it's been quite a challenge, but fun. And I just love the learning, and I love doing something with him that he loves doing, and we have some fun together. I try not to take it too seriously. I don't, you know, take many things seriously. And it's just about the journey. I haven't got a destination of winning anything or doing anything other than just enjoying my dog and letting him do something that he likes.
Nice.
You're not going to do gun dog work with them?
I think David would like to.
Mhm.
We do. You know, there's little bits of elements in his training that we do personally. But I think my brain, I think it would suit David better than it would suit me. I think his type of training, it would work really. I think he would do it stunningly. He would be the one to do it. So, and I've said to him about doing it several times. I have said to him about doing it. So maybe he will one day. I don't think I would excel. Really, I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it would suit him better than it would me. I always, well, I don't know, Les, you tell me, because maybe I've got it wrong, but I kind of feel like gun dog would be like maths at school. No, like, this is what my brain does, right? So bear with me. I think gun dog would be like maths, and agility is like art and craft. So my brain moves rapidly and busily, and movement works for me. But maths was a struggle because I have to be regimented and more focused and more still, and my brain doesn't work
that way. I mean, the stiller you can be with a cocker, the better it'll be, like easier it'll be to train. But I see what you mean, because there's a lot of standing around to gun dogs. There's a lot of standing around and hunting and walking out and putting things down and walking back and getting your dog. But when you start training a gun dog as a gun dog, you see them transform in front of you.
Yeah.
It's just magic.
I believe it. I do believe it. And David has said that to me. He's like, "Oh, Mass has got such potential. You know, he's really good. Maybe one day, but maybe
you can do. You know, they're really versatile. You can do both. There's no reason. I mean, just chuck a dummy down, see what it does.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, if you made the connection in your head, gun dog training equals mathematics.
Algebra.
Oh, we've got a maths lesson tonight. No thanks.
Oh God, yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah, and probably it would come natural to him, really, wouldn't it? You know, but some elements. But yeah, I think it's my own. I think that's my own brain, really, the way my own brain works. But yeah, the cockers have definitely been more of a challenge than I thought they'd be. I just thought they'd be so much, you know. The side that I like, the side that has come so refreshingly, is you can go out in public with a cocker spaniel, let them off lead, and nobody stresses, moves away from you. You know, you kind of don't have that pressure of, well, if it goes wrong in the park, everyone's going to blame my dog. And that was quite nice for us, because we'd had, I don't know, 10, 15 years of people evacuating parks when you tip up with bull breeds, and they all stereotype you. You know, everyone thinks you're going to be a certain type of person and your dog's going to behave a certain way. So, you know, the gun dogs and the spaniels and that in particular, they give you a different, you know.
But then you have people going, "Oh, it's a cock, I'm going to let my dog off to play with it," and then you have all the bad mannered dogs coming up and jumping all over your dog.
Yeah. One of my pet hates is when I run a puppy class. One of the first weeks I run it, I say to people, introduce yourself, introduce your puppy, tell us the breed, and tell us why you bought the breed you did. Ooh. I think that's a little insight. Everyone gets to know everyone.
Good question.
Yeah, it gives everyone a chance to kind of understand, and it gives me an idea of what's going on in the owner's mind, you know. And if I just had a pound every time we got a working Cocker Spaniel because we're an active family and we like to go for long walks at the weekend.
Yeah.
And that is literally almost my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every 8 weeks, the new turnaround, because working cocker, they're always popular. COVID, oh my goodness, what happened? How many working cockers appeared? And cockers appeared in COVID. It just went.
Not as many as there are cockapoos.
Yeah, true.
It's true.
And how expensive did they get? But they'll forever be popular. But I said it the other day. I think I was talking to Roy at Cross, and it's because they're small, so people kind of think they're an ideal family dog, compact. You know, they see them as a friendly, happy dog because they have that kind of, don't they? And, but no, they're not just for families. Then, because you go for a walk at the weekend, you can have a pug and go for a walk at the weekend, can't you?
I know.
Do we need anything other than you can have a Chihuahua and go for a walk at the weekend?
Yeah, and the thing is, the cocker's getting really aggressive, and you know, you see on the gun dog forums, and it's like, oh, don't be daft, cockers aren't aggressive. They're really real resource guarders, like really full-on resource guarders at times.
Yeah.
They're probably the number one breed that I've seen consistently for the last 20 odd years for aggression towards people in their family unit. And of course, it doesn't tell you that in the breed books, does it? So you go and buy one and then drop a tissue in the kitchen and then nearly lose your arm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. We was mindful of that with ours. We the first thing we done was taught everything they picked up in there. And I think David had got this from you, Les, that basically anything my dog picks up, treat it as a retrieve.
Yeah,
brilliant. And touch wood, we've never had an issue. But yeah, if you want a resource guarding dog, get a Cocker Spaniel or a Cockapoo.
Yeah.
There you go. They've nailed it.
They have perfected the art.
Yeah.
Madness. So I presume you don't have a favourite breed then, seeing as you've sort of got a eclectic little mix of canine companions.
I always get asked that, and I think the two main ones really are the Shepherd and the Rottie.
Really?
And I think the Shepherd, I just would always, I couldn't live without having a Shepherd. Once you've had one, they've just got something just so magical about them. And you see that the worst owners, not as in horrible, but the worst owners are people that have got no handling skills at all, bless them, first time dog or something like that, and they're really not doing it greatly, and the dog still excels. The dog still gets it right, the Shepherd. I think, how did that dog just do that so well with
with that on the other end of the lead?
Yeah. So I couldn't be without a Shepherd, but once you've had a Rottweiler, I think you struggle to be without then. So what people often say to me is, if you could only have one dog breed, what would you have? And if I could only have, the truth is, if I could only have one dog, I think I would have to have a Rottweiler now. Which throws everybody because they don't see me like that at all. Everybody sees me like a spaniel, because I'm fizzy and busy, and but I don't think there's another dog out there that makes you feel as safe as a Rottweiler does.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're not a breed for everyone. 100% they are not. But they are not to live with. They are not what people imagine. Ross knows that. But they're not what you imagine to live with.
And what way?
They're calmer than people think. I think people think they're going to be a handful. There are a lot of dogs. Don't get me. There are a lot of dogs, but they're calmer and steadier to live with than a Cocker Spaniel, who is a lot of dog. He might be small, but he's a lot of dog. In the house, what dogs will be laying on their bed relaxed? The German Shepherds, the Rottweiler. Will the Spaniels? No, they'll probably be getting up to something, doing something, or trying to encourage another dog to play. So I think they're a lot easier to train than people imagine. But no, do you find yours, like, obedience seems to come very naturally? They seem to enjoy it.
I found my cocker to be the easiest dog I've ever trained.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Easier than a Labrador?
Oh, way, way easier than if you get a high energy working lab,
Yeah,
they're a nightmare to train.
yeah,
They really are. The cockers. I mean, comparing my cocker with Emrys, who's my trialing lab, yeah, no competition. Emrys is a pain in the butt. He's on high alert all of the time. He's constantly, oh, there's a bird, there's a rabbit, there's a bird, there's a squirrel, there's a this. Oh, that blade of grass over there, 200 feet away, has just moved. It could be a rabbit. He's like that all the time. And he
yeah,
just wants to work. I could take him out before he went lame. I could take him out and 20 minutes rest and he's ready to go again.
yeah,
And he's a big dog, so it's like with a trialing lab, if you have the energy of a cocker and add another 10 kilograms onto it,
yeah,
then you've got a working lab. So I think for me the cocker was really easy.
yeah. I mean, they're easy. They like to train. That's you can get
The
them to
love,
do
yeah,
stuff.
the like the train.
Yeah, they like to train, and that side of them is wonderful. I think you're right with the Labrador. I think people make the mistake of thinking Labradors are easy, and everyone should have a Labrador. They're easy, to train. And but I think people forget that they're a large working breed.
Yeah, large, very, very large, and
Yeah,
the working lines as well are very clued up, very high energy.
yeah,
They're hunting dogs.
yeah, yeah. And the ones you see with clients, they often become over social. They lack recall. Those are the common problems you see as a dog trainer. My
Yeah.
dog. But the best email you get or the best message you get from it is, my dog's got great recall unless there's another dog.
Yeah, you got a perfect recall in like a perspex box with nothing else around you.
Yeah, exactly. If you live in a vacuum, your dog's got great recall. But yeah, put it in the real world and no. But yeah, I like, one of the reasons I really like having multiple dogs is I think your clients get to benefit from your skills.
Yeah.
Because you've learned to think about different breeds, innate behaviours, different drives in dogs,
Yeah.
even your handling skills. You've swapped from small dogs to big dogs to large dogs, and you don't just have a very channeled view or opinion of dogs.
No, you're right. I can remember years ago before I got spud. I can remember giving the cocker owners such a hard time because I mean, you'll know yourself with a cocker, you put them in a sit and they just kind of move like a Dalek sideways. You don't see the bodies actually, you don't see them move. They're just like 1 minute they're in one place, the next minute somewhere else, and you haven't actually seen them move. And I used to give the cocker owners such a hard time over it until I got a cocker, and then it was like, shit. I didn't see him move. 1 minute I left him at one side of the kitchen, and 2 minutes later I was like upstairs. So I think having different breeds gives you greater empathy as a trainer.
I think so. I think you're able to understand people's, the issues they're having. You can help them understand the dog better. And for some people, I think it gives them a better trust in you, that your skills are.
Definitely.
So if I'd only ever owned bull terriers, would I have all the knowledge I have? No. Would I have all the skills I've got? No. I mean, I certainly got a good set from them, but different dog breeds open your eyes.
Who's the nose that we keep saying?
Who's the nose?
The nose down on your left. I just keep seeing a blonde nose coming up. Sorry?
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the old one.
Oh, so it's grey, not blonde. Bless her.
No, she's I think they call them sugar faced or something when they get older.
Oh.
So she's almost totally grey on the face.
Beautiful. There's something really touching about an old dog, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's nothing like an old dog. They're amazing.
No.
They're fabulous old dogs. Love them.
No.
It's a bit of a joy and a curse because having bull breeds initially, we never got dogs that lived to be very old.
Uh-huh.
Our Bullmastiff we lost when he was 6 to lymphoma. And the first bull terrier we got, we actually lost her at 6 as well to lymphoma, which was, completely coincidental. But you don't get the longevity. And now when you get to have an old dog, it's like a little bit alien. I know people say it's privileged to get to old age, but it's also, quite sad.
It's really bittersweet, isn't it? Because Dante's the oldest dog we've had. I've lost dogs at like 6 and 8 and then 10. And Dante's 11. He'll be, God, how old will he? I think he's 11 next month. And like that, you just see all the changes, don't you? You see like the forehead sinking and the cheekbones becoming more prominent, and then they go grey, and then like walking behind him at the minute, I'm going, is his back end's not right? But then you think, do we take them for a massage, and do we do this and do we do that? And you're just almost not acknowledging that they've got older, and as an older dog, they will have aches and pains. You can't make them as fit as they were when they were young because they're old. And it's that bittersweet watching. I mean, you've been through it, Ross. It's lovely, but it's really agonising as well, seeing them get.
I find it absolutely horrific. So before we go wandering down that route again,
quickly.
I know. I can feel myself filling up.
No, let's call that a day. So in addition to all of these dogs and training dogs and whatever, Claire, you are the chairwoman of the Guild of Dog Trainers, aren't you?
I am.
So Little Bird told me that you're kind of making big strides and changes and rebrands and all sorts of stuff to bring the guild into kind of like
the century of the fruit bat, as Terry Pratchett would say.
Yeah.
Well, I like to think I am, I've got a beautiful group of people around me that have been absolutely essential in getting done what we've got done so far. But we decided that it was 2025 and the guild needed a refresh. So we went for a rebrand. It's not like a whole new guild. The guild that people will know and love is still there, but we've modernised our logo. We've increased the team that work within the guild to, so we've now got marketing and public relations head. We've got a brand manager. We've got a project manager. And I think one of the best things we've managed to do is get 2 young trainer ambassadors.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, and those are what I'm just so excited about, really, because I want them guys to inspire the next generation of dog trainers. And that's what the guild, that's what I want us to do. I want us to inspire young people. I want them to come and join us. I want us to be able to help them, help them develop, help them grow, help them be the best trainers that we can send out to people and their pet dogs. And Deanna and Emily, who are our ambassadors, are just 2 fantastic trainers. I mean, they're so different. They're chalk and cheese. And but they are fabulous trainers, and they've got tons of knowledge, tons of skills. Deanna I met on a CIDBT course, and I was blown away by her confidence, by her handling skills, and just how she just takes it in her stride. You know, and I saw immediately that she's got such good potential, you know, so yeah, we got her to be one of our ambassadors, and Emily, who is an amazing trainer, behaviourist, and she's achieved so much already. You know, her dogs compete at agility. She does behaviour work. She runs her own class. Dog training classes.
Mm-hmm.
She's got Cocker Spaniels, and so in my book she's winning, frankly. And so I'm really excited. I'm genuinely really excited at what's to come.
And have you got a few new collaborations, haven't you, with different sort of companies and stuff?
So in part was with the rebrand. What I really wanted us to be at our core was the more holistic approach to dog training. You know, it's okay having a dog trainer that knows how to teach a dog to sit or down, or you know, whatever it is. But what I want is our trainers to go out and have the ability to help people with their whole dog. You know, does the dog trainer actually, if someone, you know, says, I'm really having trouble, my dog don't like getting in the car. It's just really stubborn. It doesn't want to get in the car. It really doesn't matter what I do, it won't get in the car. And, you know, I want our dog trainers to go, why can't your dog get in the car? Is there a physical reason your dog can't? Are you missing? You think your dog's stubborn, but, you know, is there a physical reason your dog doesn't want to get in the car? So it's not just about training our dogs. You know, I think a good dog trainer looks at your whole dog from, you know, the whole of their well-being, and that makes training easier and better, you know.
Definitely.
So, you know, the collabs that we've got coming up are with Proflax. Proflax are a natural supplement for dogs, which is amazing because, you know, things like this, like dogs that are maybe getting older with joint issues, Proflax are there, and it's a really natural way that we can help our dogs and aid, you know, learning or just aid them in their well-being. And the other big one that we've got is Rude Dog, and they're a raw dog food company. They're fairly new, and they're really keen on supporting British farming and British farmers. So, which is obviously, you know, really important right now. And I think it's really important that our trainers go out there and spread the word to pet dog owners that feeding our dogs naturally, giving them the best non-processed products that we can, you know, in everything, whether that's toys, food, etc. So I can't tell you how excited I'm about those. So guild members are in for really big, you know, good discounts, good contacts, you know, the opportunity to learn so much more about all these new things out there, and good people that are passionate and keen to share their knowledge. I think that's important.
And what do people get for membership of the guild? Excuse me, membership of the guild and stuff. What can people expect as like a new member?
So now, as a new member, they'll get from Proflax, they will get a point of contact that they can use themselves and they can share with their clients. So if you want to, you can, it's Sam at Proflax at the moment. You can speak to her and get advice from Sam yourself, and you can also give your client Sam's contact so they can speak to them. So if they want, detailed advice about her supplements, they can get that. They also get a discount code on the products, and everybody obviously loves saving money. So that is super cool. From Rude Dog, they will get the opportunity to have a discount code as well on buying raw dog food from them, which is fantastic. They'll also have a discount code that they can share with their clients.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think that's really good, because it's all right doing it yourself, but if you're meeting clients and you want to encourage them, maybe, to rethink about their dog's diet, then if you've got a discount code that you can share with your clients, that's going to be an incentive, And then we've got an amazing collaboration with the Cambridge Institute.
Tell us more about that, Claire.
So, if we look at the guild in the whole picture, going forward, and getting our trainers to be, better trainers, then we want them to have the best education they can get, and we want them to know from the best, learn from the best. So the Cambridge Institute are offering all guild members, I mean, it's just huge, really. They're offering them 10% discount on CIDBT courses, which is phenomenal, because, especially for some of our young trainers that are coming in, they're focusing on their learning, on, qualifying, getting their education portfolio together, to get 10% off, because it's not, I mean, the industry's changed. What I was saying earlier about when we were young, it wasn't a thing, it wasn't you didn't go and speak to your careers advisor and say, I wanted to be a dog trainer.
No, they give you a clip round the ear for that. Be like, of course you can't. You've got to be a secretary, love, or you get married, and that's it.
I'm trying to think. I'm not very good with dates, but I think I left school in about 89, something like that. And back then, it wasn't, back then it was even worse. Girls were, expected to take certain job titles, and boys, it was a very different world. And actually, my mum would be like, well, it doesn't really matter, because you've only got to work until you get married and have a family.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it was different anyway. But so for people now that want to come into the industry, which is flooded, obviously, it's a competitive market. Dog training, dog training courses. It's a competitive market. So to have this link that we can work with, our guild members and point them in the right direction, so they get a good education from well-rounded, knowledgeable people, is a fantastic opportunity.
That's cool. And I think you said the other day when we spoke that you were the guild, obviously with your new team and stuff on board, that you were going to be kind of more active with members, like newsletters and more contact and putting people in touch with mentor programs and stuff like that. Because I think people may have felt for the last little while that there's not a great deal of contact coming from the team, and not a great deal of support, but obviously you're working hard now to sort of reverse that. And
100%. I want the guild to be more than a directory. Obviously it's a two-way street. We need the public to be coming to the guild to find trainers, and we also need enough trainers with the guild that we can supply the public with good trainers. And I think the membership pack now, where I'm really keen for us to be more connected to our members, I want regular contact. There's going to be more newsletters, more information going out to them. And I think that then bounces back, because already the contact that I've had just about the rebrand is already bounced back members that have got stuff that they can offer back. I mean, it's just amazing. If you just reach out to people, it's amazing what happens. It's like a little ripple effect. These people are always sitting there. They were sitting there with their skills, with their offers, but they just didn't realise they could offer them back. You know, so there's other collaborations that will appear, I think, you know, this year. There's going to be a lot more coming out. And I'm keen for us to stick with the holistic ethos. It's not going to be collaborations with just anyone that wants to make their name off the back of the guild. You know, these are thoughtful collaborations with organisations or companies that we feel benefit the dog industry and the pet train, you know, dog training industry. So there's a lot coming up. I want to share, because if you look at our guild members, like the variation we've got in people's skills, you know, from the best gun dog trainers in the country, you know, people guarding breed specialists, pet dogs, like literally from every angle, bull breed specialists. We've got people that have trained with everyone and every type of discipline, you know. And I want us to be able to share that information between us, because there's no point having information or knowledge and you just keep it to yourself.
No.
Or would you be looking to have a conference of some kind?
I think that would be amazing, and I've said that for the past, well, Ross will know, I think I've probably been suggesting it for about 3 years.
Yeah.
That we can have some once a year where we have a physical get together where people can come in, we can have, you know, speakers, people can share their knowledge, and people can, maybe it's me, maybe it's a personal thing, but I feel like if I meet people in person, it builds a better relationship.
Definitely.
You know? So I think it's okay thinking you're part of the guild, but when it's just, there's nothing, you don't know any members in the guild. Like if you've never met anyone, never spoke to anyone in the guild, you're just, you know, it's just superficial, really.
It's difficult to reach out to people if you haven't met them in person.
Yeah, I agree, you know, and we all know that when you communicate in 2-dimension, you know, email, text, or it doesn't always translate how it's meant to, does it?
No.
So I think actually, like, having physical get-togethers, I think is really essential. And that's where people strike up really amazing relationships, and it can grow. You know, I think if we get the guild members together and they realise what a great group of people they are, and that they're all connected in this same organisation, I think that's when we can see, you know, the power of it really growing. They're like, wow, I actually am in the same organisation as these people, and they're like phenomenal trainers. You know, they've got something I can learn from these people, you know, because we all learn every day. No one knows it all. No one knows it all. You know, and it doesn't matter how long you've been training dogs or how long you've lived with dogs or own dogs, you learn something new every day. Every day, you know, you meet a new dog, or you meet a new dog trainer, a new colleague, and you learn something new. So
that's what it's all about, isn't it? Sharing ideas and helping each other to learn and to develop. And
and the industry, you know, we all know the industry is conflicted today, you know, and it's, if we find it difficult to navigate, how difficult must the public find it? You know,
100%.
you've got a dog and you need to find a dog trainer. It must be a nightmare, really, because you'll get people telling you have to go this way, you have to go that way, and you know, you're probably, if you don't know anything, maybe you're a first-time dog owner. You know, it's quite a difficult industry to try and just find your feet in it and make sure you've got a good trainer. And I often say, Joe Bloggs, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith that have just got their puppy Cocker Spaniel, they actually don't know a good dog trainer from a bad dog trainer.
No.
So whoever goes in there and gives them that initial information and starts their dog's training life has masses and masses of impact, good or bad. You know, and they don't know. And, you know, and if it's wrong, they won't know until maybe eventually they see someone that helps them and fixes what's gone wrong.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
so I think it's really important that the guild get big and get out there and make sure that everybody here gets the opportunity to learn and get their dogs trained with a professional, well-educated, well-rounded dog trainer, canine professional.
Cool. So where can people go to find out more about the guild or about you or whatever else? Where do people need to head to find out more, or to look at trainers, or to look about membership or whatever?
So we can go to social media. We've got a Facebook page, Guild of Dog Trainers, and we've also got a growing Instagram page, Guild of Dog Trainers. So come and find us there. We've also got a website, and on the website there is a page where you can, as a trainer, you can apply. So there's a really nice and easy application form to fill in and apply to come and be a dog trainer with us. And we are incredibly welcoming, okay? We want people to come and join us. Yes, your application will be assessed. Of course it will, because, you're going to have our logo and our name attached to you. So when you go out into the big wide world and speak to the public, we need to know that, we've sent out really good, high quality professional dog trainers. So you will be assessed, but we are incredibly welcoming, and we're really keen for people to come and join us and be part of this growing organisation. So go on the website, find the page that's got the application form, join us. There's different levels of membership, which not every organisation does. So it doesn't matter if you're just starting out in your career, okay? That's absolutely cool. There's membership levels there. Maybe you do dog training just on Saturdays. You might work in the city all week. You might have a really high-powered, high-stressful job all week in the city. On Saturdays, you do what you love, which is train people's dogs. And we've got membership levels for you too. And if you're a full-time professional dog trainer earning your living, then there's a level for you. So there's no excuses not to come and join the Guild of Dog Trainers, fill in that application form, and come and join us. And if you're someone out there listening that has a dog and you're looking for a professional dog trainer, then you go to the website and go to find a dog trainer. And the dog trainers, you can search on what level. So if you're looking for a master dog trainer, we're actually still the only organisation that has master level. You can find a master trainer, or you can find someone in your area where you live. There's easy ways to come and join us, and easy ways to find a dog trainer with the guild.
No escaping it, is there? All those membership levels.
No, and in time there'll be no escaping it. Full stop.
Good stuff.
My aim is for us to, be the place to go. Like, what I want people to do is, I want people to go, we pick up our puppy next week. Where do we get a dog trainer? Oh, I know, we go to the guild. I want it to be a household name. Yeah, I want people to go, that's where I go. And I want them to feel safe. I want us to be trusted. And that's kind of where the whole rebrand and everything kind of grew from, really.
Cool.
It does look great. The rebrand is great.
Hope so. There's a lot of work, and it's kept me really busy.
No, brilliant. Well, good luck with all that, and I'm sure you've got dogs to walk. So, thank you very much for your time today.
You're very welcome. It's been a joy to talk to you both, and
thank you.
Yeah, we must catch up again soon.
Thanks, Claire.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. It's not just gun dogs and not just guard dogs, but all things canine, as we hope you have discovered. Please like, share and subscribe, and help us spread a bit of common sense back into dog ownership. And a review wouldn't go amiss either. Catch up with Les and Ross again in about 14 days for more canine conversations. Until next time, stay well and enjoy your dogs. Any dog-related questions or topics, just drop an email to talk@cfba.uk or message us via facebook.com/Gundogs and Guard Dogs podcast.